Hi, I'm Matt. Welcome to Whiskey Move. And in today's episode, we're doing part 2 of the series, Battle of the Classics. The previous was the old fashioned versus the old fashioned with brandy, comparing the two, whiskey brandy. Which one was better? The original held up stronger. This time we're doing the Negroni. The Negroni. One of my favorite cocktails, and the much later variation of it, the Negroni Sbagliato. So, the Negroni Sbagliato was an accident. Sbagliato means mistaken in Italian, and it was a mistake. There was a bar called Bar Basson in Milan, and they were having a hectic night, and the bartender, instead of grabbing gin, grabbed Prosecco. So it did the 3 equal parts, but Campari sweet vermouth, but used Prosecco instead of gin, the base spirit. Which sounds weird, but we're going to make them anyway. And as we've seen on a previous video, the Negroni has a pretty intriguing story behind it. Count Camillo Negroni, in 1927, took its predecessor, the Americano, because Americans can't handle their bitterness. So they had this in a tall glass. They had Americano, which is Campari sweet vermouth, and then they filled a tall glass in with soda water. So Count Camillo was like, yeah, soda water, just mix it with gin. So they had to move it back to a lowball glass because they're like, well, we can't have this giant highball glass having just these 3 spirits because people are going to die. They're probably right. So, anyway, for this comparison, we are going to build the Negroni Sbagliato in a glass, and we're going to build the Negroni Classic in a cocktail stirrer. But I do want to show you this really clear ice diamond here. We had our friends at Ori Future send us a clear ice press. I'm going to be reviewing it on the channel by the time you watch this. And yeah, you should really check them out. Yeah, this is pretty amazing. But you'll see in a later video. So let's get building. We're going to build them side by side. What I like to do with a Negroni is I like to just get a wedge of orange thrown straight in there because I think it's beautiful when those 3 magical ingredients combine with the orange and stir nicely through the glass. And with the Negroni Sbagliato, we're going to use a slice of orange too. We'll put that in later. So we're going to build them side by side. Insert flare here, I guess. Redeemed. Okay. So we're going to do an ounce of gin. And by an ounce, I mean an ounce and a half. We're going to do an ounce and a half straight into the glass here. Then we're going to do the same with the Campari. Ounce and a half. An ounce and a half in here. Spilling a bit, that's weird. But that's fine. This whole video is based around mistakes, so we're fine to make them. Then we're going to do an ounce and a half of this delicious sweet vermouth. Right in here, yum yum, an ounce and a half.
You put gin in there. Yeah, I just realised. Damn it.
Still show it. I'm tired, guys. Okay. I'm going to move this one aside for now. Wait a second. I've got gin, I've got Campari. That is now a Negroni. I'm going to build this again. They both have gin. Okay. I'm out of gin.
It's okay, you don't need it.
Gets me good, huh? Mamma mia. Okay, so let's build in the glass. An ounce and a half of weirdly coming out Campari. That's messed up. An ounce and a half of this delicious sweet vermouth. That comes out a little better. I gotta fix that pour spout, that's what I gotta do. And then, no gin required. We're gonna do an ounce and a half of Prosecco. There we go. See, we'll get it right yet. This whole video is Sbagliato. Now I'm gonna just insert flare here. And we're gonna stir this in the glass. So, the reasons I don't put this in a mixing glass is, well, you don't want to dilute it too much. Like, you don't want to disturb the carbonation of the Prosecco, and you're removing the base spirit of gin. Not in that, apparently. But this one, you're removing the base spirit of gin, which means you're taking a lot of the body out of it. So you don't want to over dilute it. So there we go. I'm going to stir this too. Because now it's a Negroni in this glass. So, cool. You know what? Dropping that orange wedge in both. We're going to taste it. So, the classic. Oh, that's so good on the nose. Full-bodied. Bit more of a fruity, tangier edge, but it still rounds out nicely. But it's pretty clear, as I subconsciously made too, that the classic seems to stand above. But they're both fantastic. And with that, it's probably time I go to bed. But like and subscribe. Thanks for dropping by. This is part 2 of a good series. As you can see, this whole episode is based around Sbagliato. And we've made plenty of them. Thanks for dropping by.